Good morning, readers. Well, today is the release day for Their Walls Were Empty, which is book number 12 in the Zachary Goldman Mysteries series. This is a standalone mystery, so you don't have to have read the rest of the series to enjoy it. But of course, I hope that you have, or after this, go and explore the rest of the series. There's also a crossover series, which is the Kenzie Kirsch Medical Thriller series. And I'm going to read from the first chapter of the book. You'll see both Zachary and Kenzie in this scene. Zachary sat bolt upright in the bed, gasping for breath. The room was dark, and he was disoriented. He felt around him for something that he had lost, desperate to lay hold of whatever it had been. A key? A coin? A baby that had slipped out of his grasp? It was important that he find it before it was lost to him forever. He slid his hands under the covers, under the pillow. He encountered Kenzie beside him, but it was a minute before he knew who it was and that she wasn't the thing that he had lost. Zachary? Kenzie's voice was sleepy. What's wrong? Are you okay? No, I lost it. Lost what, hon? Kenzie stirred. She turned over to face him, reaching out to touch him in the dark. A hand on his side, then his chest, which was still heaving from his gasps, and his heart pounding so hard and fast he was sure she could feel it right under her fingers. Hey, it's okay. You had a dream. I know, but I needed to hold on to. He couldn't even remember what it was, that wisp of a dream that had become concrete in his hands, that he'd been determined to hold on to this time, not to let it fall from his grasp and dissolve into nothingness again. Shh, it's fine, Kenzie murmured. Try to get back to sleep. No, it's here, somewhere. I just have to find it. He again slid his fingers under his pillow, looking for it. Frustrated, he reached over to the nightstand and turned on the lamp. Kenzie fell back, covering her eyes with her arm and making an irritated sound. Sorry, it's here somewhere. Zachary lifted up his pillow and looked underneath. He slid out of bed and pulled back his blankets. There was nothing there, no sign of the precious thing he'd lost. What had it been? He was anxious. How could he have lost it so quickly? It had been in his hands. Kenzie lowered her arms slowly and was watching him. It's just part of the dream, she assured him. It just left you disoriented. That happens sometimes. It might be a side effect of your sleep aid. Zachary sat back down on the mattress, feeling bereft. What had he lost? I hate this feeling. It can't just be the dream. Have you had it before? I know sometimes I have part of a dream that sticks with me for a few extra seconds, and it can be a little freaky. Yes. Just take a few minutes to calm down. Zachary looked around the room, still sure that he must have missed something. He looked down at the floor to see if something had fallen off of the bed, trying not to let Kenzie see that he was still searching for the lost thing. Is everything okay? He asked her, though he had woken her up, so she probably didn't know any better than he did. Did something happen that woke me up? A noise? Kenzie appeared to be listening, trying to catch any stray noise that might have startled Zachary awake. A siren in the distance? A tree branch rubbing against the side of the house in the wind? They both listened, but didn't hear anything unusual, just the usual noises that houses made. Hot air vents, the occasional creaks and pops. Nothing unusual. Zachary rubbed his eyes. Tyrrell, he said suddenly. He turned his head, looking around the room, as if Tyrrell might be there, but he hadn't slept in the same room as his younger brother since he was 10, and the house had burned down, and he and Tyrrell had been sent to separate foster families. But Tyrrell was back in his life now, had been back in it for just over a year, and Zachary had brought him home to stay with them while they tried to get him into a treatment program. But of course he wasn't in the bedroom. He was in the guest room where he'd been staying for a few days. I have to go see if he's okay. Kenzie didn't object, just sat there, rubbing her eyes. She probably knew better than to argue with him, knew that when he got into this mood, she couldn't tell him anything. He needed to see Tyrrell, to know that he was okay, to know that he wasn't the thing that Zachary had lost and was still searching for. Zachary pulled on a pair of pajama pants he had left crumpled on the floor and went to the guest room to make sure that Tyrrell was still there. What if he'd left? What if that was what had woken Zachary up, his subconscious mind alert to the fact that if Tyrrell left, he might be in danger, from himself if not from an outside threat. He tapped lightly on the guest room door, but knew that Tyrrell wouldn't answer it. He would either be gone or would be deeply asleep, not sitting there, waiting for Zachary to check in on him and make sure he was okay. He turned the door handle slowly to try to keep it from squeaking or making any other noise, and when it had turned all the way, pushed it forward. The room was dark and still. If Tyrrell had gone, he hadn't left a light on behind him to draw attention to the fact that he wasn't there. Zachary tiptoed into the room, trying not to awaken his brother if he were still there. His eyes had to adjust to the dark again after having turned on the lamp in the master bedroom. There was a lump in the bed. Tyrrell? Or a couple of pillows and some blankets shaped to make it look like he was still sleeping in the bed. A juvenile trick, but one that Tyrrell might have used anyway, if he didn't want Zachary to know he had left. Zachary reached out and touched the blankets. He expected to feel it all give under his fingers, squashed flat by his touch, but he encountered resistance. Someone was curled up under the blankets. Tyrrell had not snuck out. Zachary breathed a sigh of relief. For the first time since he had gasped himself awake, his breathing started to slow and settle. More convinced now that no one was in danger, and the feelings of loss and dread were just that, feelings, artifacts of the dream, as Kenzie had suggested. What, Zachary? Tyrrell turned over in the bed to face him. What's wrong? What is it? Nothing is wrong. Sorry. I heard a noise. Wanted to make sure you were okay. I'm okay, bro. Just sleeping. Like you should be. Yeah, sorry. I'll go back to bed. You go back to sleep too. I plan to, Tyrrell agreed dryly. Zachary gave his arm a little squeeze to reassure Tyrrell and himself that everything really was okay, then retraced his steps, closing the guest room door behind him and rejoining Kenzie. She was dozing, even with the bedroom lamp on. Zachary felt bad for waking her up, especially on a work night when she should be able to sleep all the way through and get all of the rest that she needed to be fresh at work. He sat down on the edge of the bed again, easing down slowly in an effort not to jar her awake again. She made a murmured sound, not really awake, but knowing that he was there. He probably wouldn't be able to go back to sleep again, and even if he could, he'd probably have another nightmare and another waking where he couldn't fully separate himself from the sticky stuff of his dreams. If he stayed in bed, he would probably keep waking Kenzie up again, and she needed her sleep more than he needed his. He was used to operating on just a few hours of sleep. He turned off the lamp and waited for a moment to see whether that had woken her up again. Everything okay? Kenzie murmured. Yeah, it's fine. Sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up again. Don't worry about it. Tyrrell is okay? He's sleeping. Shouldn't have woken him up. Zachary rubbed Kenzie's shoulder for a minute so that she would think that he was also settling in to go to sleep and would drop off faster. Then, like after putting a baby to sleep, he got back to his feet very slowly so that she wouldn't be aware of the shift in the mattress and wake back up again. Her breaths continued, long and slow and even. Okay, so that is from the first chapter of Their Walls Were Empty, book number 12 in the Zachary Goldman Mysteries series. Just a few little quotes on the side here from the book. Okay. Now I also have sales on a few other books in the series right now. She Was Dying Anyway, book number 3 in the series, is on for 99 cents. Book 7, Her Work Was Everything, is also on for 99 cents. And you can get the first 4 books in this series for $2.99. So all of those are available on my website, my web store, and all of the big online retailers. You can pick any of them up. And we are creeping up on Halloween. My Halloween ebook bundle is still available in my web store only, so you can pop over to have a look at that. And on my blog posts this week, there are a few other new releases, new mysteries that you might be interested in reading. So feel free to pop over to my blog and pick up a few of those as well to round out your reading. All right, I will be back next week. It will still be just before Halloween, and I will see you then. Enjoy the book.